chosen one!
The next day.
Hey, ladies and gents, welcome back to MLC Midgame Life Crisis. I am Inconsistency. This is my co-host, Werewolf. What's up, brother?
Yo, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, we want to talk about the story that kind of shook the gaming industry and shook it to its core, I'd say, in the past week. We're talking about Helldivers 2 and Sony and the whole PlayStation Network account that they made a mandatory thing for a bit. Do you want to tell us about Sony and Arrowhead and everything else?
Well, they went and did a boo-boo, basically. Both these companies.
Say it. Say it.
I did.
Yes, you made a boo-boo.
I did. I did.
The boo box.
No,
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah.
They made a boo-boo.
It all started with the PlayStation issuing out a statement that said they were gonna push out an update, a patch, that will force all PC players to have a PSN.
PlayStation Network account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that created a huge outcry in the PC community.
You could say that again.
Yeah. It escalated really fast.
Yeah, amazingly fast.
Amazingly fast. And the first blunder was when a community manager on the Arrowhead Discord, you know, he went and did the Blizzard thing. Don't you guys have phones?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have
Everyone's
phones,
got a phone.
right?
You can play your tablet too.
Yes, it's also on the Switch, you're right.
Yeah.
He replied in the Discord servers when people were whining about the thing. He said, well, it's just a PlayStation Network account. It's not that big a deal. You sign up and you move on.
They didn't like that, the community.
And rightfully so, because then they kind of made sure he needs to realize that PSN is not available in like 170 countries.
It's ridiculous, actually. 177 countries to be exact, which is more countries than the actual countries that have PSN around the world, which is kind of mind-blowing if you think about it.
I don't know, because you count all the countries in the world, and a lot of these countries are third world or...
Oh, yeah, of course. That's true.
So I wouldn't say it's that much of a surprise, but long story short, people that are playing the game now and having fun with it might be suddenly locked out. And that's a big issue, because this has fraud written all over it. People paid for this product, and suddenly they're taking it away 6 months later.
A very beloved and well-received product, Helldivers 2.
Sure.
One of the most popular games of the year. One of the best success stories of not only Sony in the PC world, but also of live service games done correctly, which is a very rare thing indeed.
It's the publisher wet dream. They all want a successful live service. This live service had everything. Season passes, microtransactions, the game cost money to begin with, always online, and, you know, cosmetics, the whole shebang.
Only it's done right, it's done correctly.
Exactly, people are liking it.
Yeah, it's a money printer for them, for Sony.
When you get on Steam 150,000 average concurrent players, this is a very big number. Only surpassed by games like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, and both are free.
Free to play, yeah. That's a huge thing.
Exactly, it's a huge thing.
Yes.
Anyway, that the community manager retracted his statement after he realized PSN Network doesn't support so many countries and players that are actually playing the game. Now, this is actually the big fuck up of Arrowhead. I'm not saying they try to portray themselves as consumer friendly. I'm believing them. They really want the good of the players.
Oh, they're consumer friendlies. They are.
Sure, exactly. But this was a huge fuck up. Because they knew in advance this is going to happen.
Yes.
This was supposed to be from day one. Their CEO removed the need for the PlayStation Network account at the beginning because there was server load and people couldn't log into the game and they wanted people to have a smooth start. Which was a very smart move, of course.
Yeah, in that same tweet you mentioned, he said, we knew about 6 months before launch that it would be mandatory for online PS titles. So for online Sony titles, basically. So he is even saying, he's in the same tweet, he's saying, I am not blameless in all of this. He knew that he could have communicated better to the community that in about 6 months or how many months from now, Sony are gonna come down with the hammer. And he didn't. And that's his boo-boo, and he admitted so.
He admitted so after he was confronted with it.
Yes, hats off to him for being honest about his mistakes, but also hopefully he learns from this and doesn't make the same mistake in the future.
Yeah. So when he was confronted with it, he admitted to it. At first he was playing all, naive and was like, this is Sony's thing, this comes from them, we don't like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is from Sony. It is from Sony and they don't like it. This is fact.
Sure, but he knew this was coming. He could have said. It's not like he played it like this came out of nowhere and then they dropped it on them and this is not something they want.
No, that's listen. It's both can be true. He did know this is coming and he failed to communicate for whatever reason, by the way. I'm not sure if the reason is completely innocent.
Sure, this is all speculation.
Yes, he failed to communicate to the community, the same community which he seems very connected to, usually. He failed to communicate that this mandatory login of creating this account is coming to knock on the door of every player around the world who loves this game and been playing it for months now without an issue, right? And yet he also said that he doesn't like this and he doesn't want Sony to do this, and this is true. I believe him completely. I believe the developers of Arrowhead that they didn't want this from the beginning, but it seems like was already something that was decided for them by their publisher overlords, and they had to play along, right?
Yeah.
And so both can be true, man. They made a mistake, but I also feel for them for the whole situation that Sony dropped on them, basically.
Yeah, this is the big blunder of Arrowhead because they knew in advance this is coming and they could have prepared. It's not that they didn't say it. The fact that they missed that this will lock out so many players, that's the huge blunder of them. Anyway.
Yeah.
The reaction of the world was more than the outcry of the PC players, because the PC players mainly started review bombing the game. This was encouraged by the community managers of Arrowhead in Discord. They said,
and the CEO, even the CEO.
Yeah, and the CEO, he said, let Sony know how you feel about it, do whatever you need to do.
Again, for their credit, to their credit.
Yes. But the big pressure started coming from places like Steam, or Valve if you want.
Yeah, before we get to the refunds, which, as you say, is probably the main reason that the conclusion it happened. But you should mention the absolute blazing speed. It took about 24 hours for the game to go from around 85% or very positive in Steam to drop to overwhelmingly negative in about 24 hours. It's ridiculous. It was at one point, it was about 120,000 Steam reviews in about 12 hours. It was something mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing. I'm not saying this is the main reason that Sony reversed their decision. Keep going, sorry.
We don't know. 4 things happened that are a big, red flag for game owners, basically.
For a huge publisher, yeah.
One is the review bombing. The reviews went to overwhelmingly negative in 24 to 48 hours. More than that, like we said, they had 150,000 concurrent players, and that dropped to like 90,000.
Which is still a lot.
That's a 40% drop. Yeah, but it's a 40% drop in nothing, in a few days.
Yeah. But it just shows you just how popular this game is still, even with all the controversy that happened around it.
Yeah, but well, this is probably mainly the people in the US who have no problem in using a PSN account. The majority of the players are the US players, let's admit.
Only 70 countries that have PlayStation account, basically.
Exactly. And more pressure came from other big companies like Valve, or Steam, if you will, who started refunding the game to anyone who is in a country that can't use PSN, and full refund even if they played hundreds of hours, which is crazy. It goes against the refund policy. And the European Union also started using terms like fraud, and they said they're looking into it, which is also something which is not very positive to a company like Sony, which is I think they're from Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Sony is Japanese, yes.
Exactly.
Their headquarters, yes.
Japanese owned, that's where the company was formed and made and born, if you will.
Yes.
So all of this pressure apparently worked, which was a big surprise for the community because no one expected them. Everyone expected them to double down, right?
Yes, but if I should mention that after the refunds, before Sony kind of raised the white flag, they did double down for a moment there because they delisted all 177 countries that do not have PSN accounts. They basically delisted them from Steam. So every country that Steam offered refund on got delisted as well, which means you couldn't even buy the game. So that was their version of doubling down on it.
I think the delisting came first, and then Steam started issuing refunds because they said, "Oh, so you delisted and people bought it. Let's give them back the money."
You could be correct. Could be correct.
And-
Okay, then. So what happened then?
And then the European Union also started looking into fraud or whatever. Sony on May 6th issued a statement, and I'll quote: Helldivers fans, we have heard your feedback on Helldivers 2 account. Linking update. The May 6th update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players for current players beginning May 30, will not be moving forward. For now. Basically, they said, we're gonna wait with it and we're gonna see. Because they said, we're learning what is best for PC players and your feedback is invaluable. Like,
This is the shady part. This is
exactly.
this is the shady part right here.
Yeah.
We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Oh, I'm sure it has.
Yeah.
Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait for those future plans, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're great.
You can hear them honing their blades in the background while they're saying this, you know, with whetstone.
Do you know, did you ever watch Key and Peele, the sketch show?
No.
The great sketch show from about 10 years ago. It's now been like 8 years ago. Holy shit. It's pretty old in today's standards, but it's one of the greatest sketch shows ever with Keegan and Peele, who became later a famous director. He did the movie Get Out and Nope and Us. Very famous director. So anyways, that show, why I'm bringing it up, one of the most famous skits ever is having Obama's anger translator. So basically Obama has an anger translator because everything Obama says is very diplomatic and very polite, but there's a lot of underlined threats, you know?
Hello, my fellow Americans. With me, as always, is my anger translator, Luther. Hi. Now, the first year of my second term has been a challenge.
Cluster?
So
Oh, that's good.
you need a corporate translator, bro, for those messages. What this message is really saying is, listen, we got hit from some threats about lawsuits from EU ain't fucking around, boys. And listen, all those refunds, it hurts our bottom line, and we have a shareholding meeting to do later. So listen, for now, yeah, you got this one, boys. But you ain't won the war. You ain't won the war, mother bitches. We're coming back for you. That's what this really means. That's what this tweet really means, my friend.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. That's all I gotta say about it.
You won the round is what they're saying. Exactly.
You won the round, but you have not won the fight.
You haven't heard The Last of Us yet.
There's 4 more rounds, baby. This is championship rounds now.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that's all we gotta say about this. I mean, do you have anything to add about it?
But what happened? No. What is going to happen is I think that Sony is gonna look for a way to squeeze money out of PC players. Look, I don't find it completely off the rails that Sony will one day say, okay, we've come up with a solution. PC players who in countries who can't have the PlayStation Network account can pay a bit extra for an add-on that will let them play in Steam without linking it or whatever for Crossplay or something. They'll find something shady to squeeze some more money out of you.
The ongoing theory is that's why did Sony do this? If you were in Sony shoes, why did they do this? Nobody knows for sure except the higher ups inside Sony. But the theory is that what they want to do is try and compete like everyone else with Steam. They want to launch their own infrastructure and storefront, which by the way they already have for PlayStation. They already have a pre-established, extremely successful, well, not that successful, but very successful. It's very successful. It's more successful than Xbox, that's for sure. Infrastructure of games and marketplace and storefront for their consoles. All they gotta do is, turn it into PC as well. It's not that difficult for them. They can do it. They have the means. They have the money. But they need to show the shareholders that they need to show them the numbers. So they need to show them how many active PlayStation Network active concurrent users they have. The more they have, the more chances they'll get greenlit to their own, their own version of Steam. Basically another EGS, another whatever, another Ubisoft Plus, another Rockstar launcher, another launcher with probably exclusivity deals and all that terrible anti-consumer shit that we all hate, that will make people not be able to play the games on Steam. I'm hoping, if they do this, I'm hoping that at least they'll not be exclusive, that you'll be able to go to Sony and buy the games on Sony, but you'll also be able to still play them on Steam. I'm hoping that's the way they'll go, but rumor has it Sony do not like the 30% cut that Steam takes from them. Nobody likes it, right? But Sony are especially greedy, so who knows?
It's like these companies don't learn from the mistakes of companies that are on the same level as them. Because EA had Origin as a launcher, and that thing completely failed, and they removed it completely at some point because they realized it's not working.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft had Uplay, which was fucking shit.
Yeah. Oh my god. And they're doubling down on it too, making exclusives and like...
And no one likes that launcher. No one likes that launcher, or the U-points or whatever they have.
And there's some games I'd love to play on Uplay Plus. The new Pandora, Mist of Pandora, whatever it's, the Avatar game looks awesome, but I'm not gonna touch it until it comes to Steam, bro. I'm never gonna touch it until it comes to Steam, and with a good discount.
I think that not only the big numbers, the reason which they want everyone on the PlayStation Network is the same reason that we mentioned in our last podcast when we had a board meeting roleplay. And if you haven't listened to that, then you really should. Anyway,
it's our best podcast. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna throw it out there. In our humble opinion, completely unbiased. Yeah.
They want to be able to know what you're doing. When you're playing on the PlayStation 8 network, they know what you're playing and how many hours you're putting into it and what are your interests and what you're looking at and what your search terms in the store and they want to follow you. They want to get all the information they need because then they can know how to squeeze your buttons and what to sell you and how to get money out of you. This is the main reason, I think.
Could be, but yeah. I think that's all we got to say about this. This is for now. This is a good story. This is a good outcome. Pretty much, we gotta admit, this is pretty much the best outcome we could hope for now. Both you and I actually made a previous recording about this, and we didn't use it because it was already outdated within few hours with how fast this whole story developed. And the fact that Sony drew the white flag so fast is very surprising. I thought they were going to double down and maybe even do something really stupid like pulling their other games out of Steam, like going really crazy, because the Japanese have a history of doing this. They have their pride, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they did this something similar in the future. But in the end, the gamers came together, man. The whole Steam reviews was really crazy amount of coordination and support from the community. Basically, I know it's not nice shitting on a game that is very good. Basically, it's a very good game. No one can deny it. But and it hurts Arrowhead, which are a small to medium AA
talented
developer. Very talented, yes. And it sucks that they got review bomb, but even they admitted, like you said earlier, that this is the best way to get the attention of Sony, to maybe make them reverse the decision. And of course, let's just be honest, Steam is a huge powerhouse, and they pretty much put their foot down the moment they gave refunds to all those 177 countries. That's what sealed the deal, really, in my opinion.
Steam was the good guy in this, which is it's very surprising and
yes.
It's very good. I like it.
It's not surprising at all. Steam get a lot of shit, but as long as they're privately owned, they'll keep making the more consumer-friendly decisions. They're not perfect. No corporation is perfect.
True, that's
show
what
me
I'm
a perfect
saying.
corporation, I'll show you a unicorn. All right, but Steam are pretty good about those kind of stuff. Anyways, dude, I think we need to wrap it up. This has been Inconsistency. My man Werewolf.
Yeah, guys, girls, robots, big bugs. Like, subscribe, comment in the comment section below. Tell us what you think. Engage. Do the YouTube game. The YouTube likes it, and so do we.
Yeah, the algorithm loves the comments and the thumbs up. Don't ask us why, but it does.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, Midgame Life Crisis. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Bye.